walk up there to see it. Yeah, I did get my doctor's note, dentist, or not dentist. I've been to the doctor, dentist, and eye doctor, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. But my eye doctor told me that I need glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I just crossed over.
I've been there.
Really?
Since I was a kid.
So getting like full on, do you wear glasses all the time?
All the time.
Really?
Yes. Just don't have one today. I just didn't feel like it today, but all the time. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. So I've been considering it because they told me I need glasses.
Yeah.
It's not huge. It's not really bad, but it's going to get worse.
Yes.
Yeah, it will.
And I've had LASIK.
Oh.
Really?
Right. That's what I said. I had
know
LASIK.
that. I know.
I had LASIK like 21
Well,
years
it's
ago.
time. It's time for a touch-up then.
I don't know if I could do that. Alexa, off. Yeah, I don't know if I could. I did it when I was a whole lot younger. I'm a little bit more sensitive or nervous to have them go in and touch up on my eyes.
Yeah, I don't. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I'll take the frames.
I did the braces thing though as adult, so I'm really excited. I got my tops off. It's really weird. Brandon always laughs at me. I say I got my tops off the other day. I got my bottoms off in a couple of weeks. He's like, what? All right, are we live and ready to roll? We're good?
Yeah.
All right, on this jam session, Lovie Alonzo Verser stop by. This is the 80th jam session.
Wow.
This is 80th, number 80.
80.
Or did I mess that up, Brandon?
I'm sorry?
Did I mess that up? Is it at the 80th jam session?
80th,
All right, boom. Hey, you're number 80.
Wow.
I like that. The 80s were a good year.
The 80s were
decade.
great years.
Right. That's a good decade.
Right.
So, guys, I'm really thankful for you guys to stop by. There's a lot that I want to talk to you guys about because you guys are doing some amazing things out there in the real estate community. You work together as a husband and wife, which is obviously something. Where's my wife? I don't know. She's out. She's busy doing something. But Jennifer and I are obviously have been married for 22 years, worked together for 22 years, so we share some of that. And I just love when people can come together and work through marriage and business, and it gives us something common to strive for together. So we want to talk about that, but I'm really excited for you guys to be here. Now, got a lot of cameras going on, right? Got like four or five cameras, five cameras. A lot of these, maybe not. Don't know the level that they know you all. That one right there, everybody knows you.
Y'all know
Okay.
me. Hey, Sam.
Yep. So what I want you to do, just a 30,000 foot view, right? We'll get into all the details, but a 30,000 foot view. Who are you guys? Tell us who are you guys?
Wow. Okay.
30,000 foot view.
Exactly.
Well, we're the Versers. We are going on our 23rd year.
23rd, yeah.
September. So September 7th, we'll celebrate 23 years. And we met at work, interestingly enough.
Yes.
We were both teachers' aides in Kansas City, our hometown,
Our hometown,
KCK,
Kansas
shouting out Wyandotte County. And growing up in Wyandotte County is kind of one of the reasons why we're actually here. But
Yeah.
we started out working as teachers' aide in special education. And
Okay.
so the love for teaching has never went away. And education and sales have kind of been what we've done for the last, 20 years.
Of our career,
Yeah.
really. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Great barbecue.
Chiefs
Yeah.
I'm
or
biased.
Cowboys?
Kansas City
Chiefs
Chiefs.
or
Kansas City Chiefs.
No, I'm sorry,
Please.
guys. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Come on,
why?
Chiefs?
Kansas City
No, you
Chiefs.
can't do
Yes.
that.
We
I think I got
grew
outlawed.
up there.
I think I got outlawed. You can't do that,
We grew up
right?
there. Oh, kinda. I think. But I'm a rule breaker. So.
Okay, so I'll give you the barbecue.
Yes.
Love
Oh,
the
thank you.
barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
rub, you can't.
Yeah.
Gates. I'm shouting out Gates, but there's a lot of good barbecue in Kansas City, but I work for Gates.
What
in high
about
school.
Texas barbecue?
I like
Really?
Texas barbecue. It's really tender and good, but I
Smoke
miss
it.
my
You guys
rub.
smoke really
It's wonderful.
well.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Okay, all
I'll give you
right.
that.
But you shouldn't have to use sauce on your barbecue.
Yeah.
Agree 100%.
Yeah.
If it's done right,
Sauce is optional.
it's like a steak.
It is.
Exactly.
One thing, if people ask me for salt, pepper, and sauce, I'm like, okay, you're never invited back to my house.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, I cook it this way for a reason. Enjoy.
Right.
So I agree, shouldn't use sauce on barbecue.
No, ever.
Now, I do eat sauce, but I'm saying it's optional.
Right?
Maybe with
Okay.
my fries.
It isn't required.
But I don't want it on my meat. I just
With
don't.
your fries.
Maybe with my fries. I just
Interesting.
don't.
I do it with my fried okra.
Yeah.
So, but Kansas City barbecue.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you that. Not going to give you the Chiefs. Although, Although you had a really good coach there for a long time. You've had a couple of good coaches
Yeah.
there.
And Andy's still there, so
Yeah,
we're still moving right along.
Yep. Okay. What else is good in Kansas City?
We have music and jazz. 18th and
Ah,
Vine Jazz
18th and Vine,
Museum,
okay.
the Negro League Museum.
Yep.
All those things started in Kansas City. Now, we're on the Kansas side. I'm a Sunflower. I'm a Sunflower
Yes.
girl. But it's a big metropolitan area, just like DFW, Fort Worth. So everybody does business on both sides of water, and there's literally a street, the river that separates Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri.
Literally.
So
Okay.
people say, you're from Kansas, or
Okay,
Missouri,
Missouri,
Right.
can't-
if they
yeah.
know.
Okay.
If they
Yeah,
know.
you can literally stand in the street and separate.
But
yourself.
most people that are from another place, you got here as quickly as you could.
Not
No.
We took the long way around.
Byway,
We went
California.
Okay.
via California for 5 years, and then we came
Then we
here
came
with this
here.
job transfer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're here.
Weird.
Now, the job is a job transfer. So you guys, so teachers, aides,
Educators.
educators working together.
Right.
Then you guys went and did something different.
We stayed in education.
Stayed in
so
education.
we were working in a high school
Uh-huh.
with special education students, and then we went on to work for a program called Upward Bound.
Okay.
Still in education. It's a college
Right.
prep program designed to help first-generation students get to college, teach them the different things that they'll need to know about the right classes to take them on college visits so they can have an understanding of what type of school they may need, whether it's a 2-year, 4-year private institution,
Right.
large, small, whatever the case may be, and ensure that they had really stellar SAT scores and ACT scores to ensure
Wow.
that they could get
Okay.
scholarships. So our foundation is education.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will never leave education. I'm working on a EDD now, my doctorate degree, and I'm about 6 classes from being done, which is why I stole my husband full time because he's a dynamic salesperson, business development, and I really need his help because time is crunching in, and there's so many people out here that are looking
Yeah,
for
man, a ton of people.
a home or looking for services or looking for education about different things. And
Yeah, I mean, I think I do, and that's kind of transitioning a little bit, but I mean, that is y'all's background, and I can see why you're so passionate about educating all the homeowners and potential homeowners that are out there based on today's market from what you guys have done in the past. I mean, I see that similarity, so that is really cool. So you got here via job transfers, that's how y'all got here.
Yeah.
What were you doing to that? Was it
Chemical sales.
chemical sales?
Yes.
Okay.
So I sold a lot of, and I say chemical sales, people like, oh,
Right.
It's this
What
thing-
chemicals?
no, not the
Yeah.
hazardous stuff, but the stuff that goes into your stuff like Mary Kay products, Johnson Johnson, things of that
Yep.
nature. So that's what I was selling. And at the time when I got here, I was covering maybe 5, maybe 6 states.
yeah.
So it was a little crazy. It was a
Right.
little crazy. I was living out of a suitcase for a while and just crazy. But when we got here, it just seemed like things just kind of exploded for us. It really did. And, we knew there was going to be a big picture somewhere down the road. We just didn't know what that picture was going to be.
Sure, you're right.
So here we are today. And, nothing can be the wiser, man. I am feeling great about this. So, yeah.
So
I had to walk away from it all really to get this going with us.
So you had the educational background, then big into sales.
Right.
Now moving here, deciding to say, okay, we're going to go into real estate as a family.
Right.
Okay. Complementing each other, I'm assuming, right? Because that's the hardest part, I think, with the husband and wife, let's just say, working together.
Right. Right.
Who does what?
Right.
Is there a lot of overlap? Can you complement each other? My wife and I talk a lot about that. Like, do we have ownership in our own lanes?
Right.
Right. She has responsibilities, I have mine. We own those lanes, but then we communicate
Right.
effectively together. And so, are you guys kind of developing that same thing? I mean, because if you're selling, if you have the sales background, I'm assuming we're now more in the sales side, more in the.
Not really.
Not really.
Both.
Okay.
I can't. My background is corporate training, so I was a sales trainer. So
Okay.
we worked in sales together, and the reason we got to real estate is because our own personal challenges with
Exactly.
mortgages.
Yes.
Yes.
We absolutely hit a brick
Not
wall.
BobMortgage.
Not
Not
Bob
Bob,
Mortgage.
not Bob.
Not Bob Mortgage.
Just-
But we
yeah.
we both were laid off at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And so, of course, bills started tumbling in, and us navigating with modifications
Yes.
and learning what to do and what
Right.
not to do, and speaking with different people
That's so hard.
and doing so much research, I found out a lot of things that could help us. And so, going that path, I also learned that if you are in real estate, you have opportunities to help other people not be in the situation that we were in.
Exactly.
So
Love
even though
that.
I help people
Exactly.
navigate out of their situations when I didn't have a license because of what I experienced, that made me want to get a license so I can educate people better and actually have the credentials behind myself.
Not that you don't do this, but what I'm hearing is sales through education.
Yes.
You did chemical sales, that may be sales through closing.
Right.
I got to close the client, right?
Exactly.
So same thing, but in a maybe a little bit of a different approach.
Right.
Very true.
Right, I love the education, the sales through education, because you're bringing a lot of value to the table up front and giving of everything that you have, the knowledge piece, and then the selling is really people buying from you
True.
at that point,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And let me stop for a second. And just to say, so the people that don't know, I am an agent with JP & Associates Realty. So hi all my friends and family out there. But you know, it's really important to brand yourself. So we are here today as Verser Realty Group, but just know I'm with JP & Associates and you can reach me at loviehomesales.com.
Well, you didn't let me get into that part.
I know, but I
was
just
gonna
want
throw
people
it
to
out
know.
there.
We've been
See?
online a few minutes and people
Okay.
need
What's
to
your
know.
name about her real quick?
I totally
Exactly.
messed that up. That's the salesman in the family. Yeah.
Well, you know, they just need to know. I want to
They
make
just-
sure
yeah.
people know, you know.
Okay, how do they
Make
get to
sure
you
people
again?
know. Loviehomesales.com or
Spin it.
972-904-2017.
The spin.
What if they missed that? One more time. The 972.
Loviehomesales.com or 972-904-2017. Send your family, send your friends, send your investors. Anybody that needs help or education, we're here to help.
You got
I
it.
love that. That's awesome. See, my wife kicks me underneath the table. Bob, you're just giving her, you don't sell anything. I'm like, I educate. I don't know. She's like,
that's
sell. So it's the way this whole thing works, right?
Yeah.
I get it. So now you've been doing this together.
Right.
Kind of give me the idea what your day looks like. I mean, you guys, like Jen and I, we get up and we start going. I mean, we don't have a lot of time for much of anything else. But do you guys, is there a workout routine in the morning? Do you do meditation?
I've been
5
working
things
on
of
my mindset
gratitude?
game.
Mindset.
Yes,
Mindset.
Love it.
mindset stuff, prayer, working out. He's a little bit more disciplined now because I stay up so late with my school. So everything I do real estate, and then like 1 or 2 or 3, I'm working on my doctorate and all of my homework and any research that I have.
She's smart.
Posting some
She's
stuff.
very smart.
Thank you. But it gets a little difficult. So again, that part right there is, the morning stuff. It starts with him taking our son to school, thankfully.
Okay.
Our 11-year-old
Yep.
Sydney.
That starts today.
And
For me,
so-
anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, and he
So
likes to get to
11-year-old.
school. Yes,
Yes.
11-year-old's going to be 12.
12 in June.
12 in June. Wow. Married since
96.
96. September, right? You said September 3rd?
7.
7th. Yeah, I knew that. September 7th, 1996. My birthday's in September.
6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My wife and I got married in December of 96.
Wow.
So we're just.
That's why
yeah,
when
a
I
little
met
bit
you, I was like, oh my gosh. It was the synergy, the couple, you guys had got married the same year we did. And I'm
Just tell me the truth. You like Jennifer better than me. And
it
so
was just both, indeed, the story in general. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I have to meet them.
And then
So
she came home and saying, she was like, you've got to meet these guys. I'm like, okay.
Anybody that's worked together, anybody that's been married over a decade or 2, you don't come through unscathed. There are some challenges that happen in marriage, and if you're still together and
Absolutely.
you're happy and you're smiling, that is something positive. And I just like to cleave to those kind of people because and I'm always looking for couples. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
we have. My wife tells me, she goes, you're lucky. I'm still your first wife because I've been with you when you've been up, been with you when you've been down,
True.
been with you when you're building to go back up again. She
Yeah.
goes, your second wife would have left you a long time
Right.
ago. So it is nice to have that person that you can go through
Right.
Yeah.
everything with, right?
Right,
The ups,
right.
the downs. For us guys to figure out that we can be vulnerable and raw
Mm-hmm.
and still, in our minds, be the man of the house, right?
Right.
Even though we need the strong woman to really make
Yeah.
it all happen.
Every now and then we need that guidance. Just a little push. Just a
Oh yeah,
push.
no, it is. It's great guidance. It's a different approach or a different way that they, like Jen, will look at something in our decision-making process, right? It'll help me maybe get to a different place in the decision
Right.
or confirm what I'm thinking, but see it a little bit differently.
Right.
And so I think it's for us, it's just amazing to have that conversation. I mean, we were having a conversation just on the drive up here. We even drive together a lot of times, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I Uber a lot, just doing different things we do. So we'll just drive together, and it gives us 15, 20 minutes just to chat.
Right.
In the car, nothing going on, just, hey, how about this? What about this?
Right.
And it could be business or it just could be life stuff. Now, speaking of that, like working kids, school, how important is like date night or date day? I mean,
We do us real well.
Extremely, yeah.
Okay, good.
We've always been joined at the hip, so it'll
Good.
probably be more challenging to make sure we're really dividing and conquering the areas that we actually need because we're usually stuck
Yes.
together like glue.
Yep.
So that probably will be the biggest challenge for us. Okay, we have to separate so we can get this thing, this
Uh-huh.
This thing that
Yeah,
this
this-
laundry list or whatever, the actual
Right.
laundry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, don't tell me about that. So mindset, you work on the mindset stuff. What do you do? I mean, for people out there that struggle with like the process of getting your mind right. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go about doing it, but what's your approach?
It's just really, at the end of the day, putting something positive out there into the world. A lot of times people just kind of live on the negative, and that negative will actually just kind of pull you down a little bit. So what we've been doing really is just putting stuff out there. Well, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to achieve. These are the goals that we want to. And once we started doing that and being very positive about what we were doing and how we were thinking, things started to happen. So again, it starts within you. It's a positive thing that starts within you. And if you don't have that point, you'll never
Right.
get to the point where you never get to the point where you never achieve your goals. That's the thing about it. So
I completely agree. The more people that you want to help is awesome. I love the fact that we always talk about how many people we want to help, but if
Right.
we don't fix ourselves or help
Right.
ourselves first,
Right.
we'll never be able to help them. And it does. That everything starts
It
right
does.
it
here.
does. It really does.
So gratitude.
Gratitude
is
prayer,
one big one.
My daily
Prayer,
bread.
yeah.
But gratitude is probably the biggest one because we take so much for granted. We don't realize it. We don't really think about it as we go through life and we're busy. But we sometimes take people and our situations for granted. So we have to slow down and really count our blessings. I know it becomes cliche, but when you really count your blessings, I mean, you can always be in a worse situation. So
Okay.
I try to stay really thankful and positive, even when we were in the roast, when we had water coming in our roof, leaking on us literally. So I know the struggle. So being able to give something back to somebody that's been there because people did it for us,
Right.
Yeah.
it's like the greatest gift.
That's
Yeah.
why we.
And we haven't even arrived yet.
I know,
We're just-
right?
Right.
We're just
We
getting
haven't,
started
but-
with what we got. We were able to give what we got already.
Exactly.
So,
Because we were both, and this is just anybody that knows us know we would drop what we're doing. I mean, stop literally what we're doing to help. You know, it doesn't matter what's going on in our life, but we feel that we've been given so many blessings in life because we have. I mean, we have friends in California that's helped us out, friends here, friends in Kansas City, everywhere. So why not give it back? Why not give it back? And we've been doing that, and I
Yeah.
love it.
That's the giving makes you feel great.
It does.
Because regardless of what people, the giving aspects of it, people will think a monetary giving,
Right.
and that's not really all that it is. It's the time that you can give. It's just the listening. It's the action, and then there's money.
Right.
But like when I went on my first mission trip many years ago, I thought I was there to give to them. I thought I was there to transform their life, and the reality was my life was being transformed
Right.
just by me going and giving of my time.
Right.
And then so you start to really like look at this and say, wow, I mean, maybe you were supposed to go there. You were thinking you were supposed to go
Right.
there to help them, but in the reality, they were there helping you. And at the same time, they get the benefit because they're like, wow, why did this person come here? Why are they doing these types of
Yeah.
things? So
it shows that Christian love. It shows love in people. Love is the greatest gift. I mean, love.
yes, love solves everything, right?
Love you.
Truly does.
That's why I'm named
Love,
Lovie.
Lovie.
No, I'm the seventh Lovie. I'm named after my
Yep.
grandmother and my aunt, but I
Okay.
do love my name.
Yeah.
So mindset's important.
Mindset.
You do some working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I did that. I work out every day in my
Yeah.
mind, but I can't get it every day.
Well, you look good. You slim.
I
As
run.
long as you got good heart. Oh, okay. you
Yeah,
got
I
good
run.
heart.
Oh, yeah,
I-
you
that-
run,
that's
so-
that's my working. I would love to like
Just do
like
it.
work out,
2
like,
minutes
you know.
of planks. All you need is 2 minutes of planks, 2 minutes of push-ups. You're good.
Brandon, we need to do 2 minutes of planks in our
Planks and
office.
push-ups.
Better
That take care of
say, yeah,
everything
yeah.
else.
Every day.
You tell me that every day.
See?
We have a gym right here, right? I mean, we have a
See?
full gym that's right behind us, and we don't even
Wow.
make it to the gym. So bad.
That's okay.
It's okay.
You're
So,
serving great people.
Yeah.
all right, so let's transition into the real estate side. So you guys are doing this. So we have, some potential homeowners out there,
Right.
and they're evaluating agents, right?
Right.
Okay, so a little self-promotion. Why would it be important for them to consider you guys as a family team? Why is that? Why do you feel like that's important?
The main thing we've been talking about the entire day, education.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the day, we want to make sure that you have every tool that you need to move forward in
Making
your
informed
buying
decisions,
experience.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we think it's a bad decision, we're going to say, hey, maybe you should do this,
Right.
or consider this, because at the end of the day, it's about us educating you to get into the right home for you and your family. Where if something happens, God forbid,
They're still good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
they're still good.
Right.
They're
So,
still good.
Yeah.
My wife and I will say that the main reason why is like, this is our business, this is our life, this is our income. There's not like other jobs, like we don't have other
No.
jobs
No.
with income coming in. So look, I need you,
Yes.
Right.
right? It's not that I want you, I need
Very
you,
true.
Yes.
right? And so that need, obviously coupled with everything else that you guys do, the education and all those types of things are really, really important, because without them as the client,
Right.
there's no income,
Very true.
right? And so that's something I've never really shied away from. And Jennifer will tell you the same thing. Hey, it's a family business, man. It's not like we got 3 jobs out there.
Exactly.
We're making a wage. We
Right.
need every
And my
client.
wife just got bigger. We do need the clients, and I let people know when I'm talking to them. My job is to service you, but if we never buy a house, I'm still going to educate you and treat you just like we're going to the closing table tomorrow. But I
Right.
do not get paid unless I get you to your destination.
To your
And that
destination.
helps them understand I'm fighting for you and with you, because I also need to make money. So, of course, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you're making a good decision. But if it's wrong, we're just going to slide back this way.
Sure.
And we're going to make sure it's right.
Right.
And that, I think, that integrity about what you do is even more important, because there's a lot of people that's gotten taken advantage of by mortgagers and by realtors
Sure,
or people
yeah.
that are presenting themselves as people that sell homes and can get you in a home with little money down. And they end up getting taken for a ride. And so the last 2 people that actually came my way, because I was working an event, was looking for someone because they got burned in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure I put really good, soft kid gloves on them and took them really slow and educated them about everything, and they felt really good, and now they're 2 approved buyers looking for homes.
There you go. So tell me about like out there, because you talk about education a lot, right? Are you finding that there's some
Big myths.
myths, yeah, that are out there that you know
Wow.
you guys are hearing that we can kind of address today, this morning? What are you finding?
I have to have 20% down, or $40,000, or
Whole life
$60,000
savings.
to get into a house.
Okay. Do you feel that that's the case?
Absolutely
No.
not. We know it's not the case.
Guys, the 20% down, I mean, when you start getting into national market news, and all this national news out there, they're going to put out, national statistics that say 20% down. That is absolutely not the case. We know this. We do deals. It's, you can get in on a conventional loan with as little as a 3% down payment. That's the minimum down payment that they'll tell you. Then you have FHA at 3.5%. Okay, VA, for our veterans out there, we should give your house away to you for free,
Right.
but we do have to finance, but that's 0% down, and USDA is 0% down. Now, let's say they don't have the full 3% down for conventional, 3.5% down for FHA.
Right.
There are some amazing programs through the state of Texas that will provide funds to cover that down payment. They'll cover your down payment, and in some
Yes.
cases, they'll even cover all of your closing costs.
Right.
So we've been able to get buyers into homes with literally $0 out of pocket. No money out of pocket. So you're renting right now, guys. Okay, you're renting. You're paying 100% interest. That's your interest rate, is 100%. You get nothing for that rental payment. Then when you decide to sell that rental, which you can't sell because you're renting, you will have to move out, and you've lost everything, right? And all that money is gone, and then you have to go and rent another place. But the landlord, while you've been making those payments, He's paying down his principal balance, right, which is what we call forced savings. And he's getting the upside of the appreciation because every year that property that you're renting continues to be worth more. You're stuck with nothing, right? So it's a great opportunity to look at where you are today and say, look, do I have a little bit of money to be able to put into a home?
Right.
And if you have a little bit, because we want you to have a little bit, you need to have a little bit of money,
Skin
you know, a
in
couple $1,000s even,
Right.
right?
Right.
Even if it is just a couple of $1,000s left over after closing, but we can get you into a home with little to absolutely no money out of pocket through those grant programs through the state of Texas.
Right.
So
right behind that, people want to know, how do you unlock the money? How do you unlock the money, Bob?
Tell us, Bob.
how do you unlock the
How
money?
do you unlock the money to the down payment
Right.
and closing cost assistance?
'Cause
So-
this is what they want to know.
This is what they want to know.
Yes,
Okay, so there's
and
going to be,
I'm
I'll tell them, there's my 4 C's to underwriting, because everybody is concerned about how do I get approved
Yes.
for a home,
Yes.
right? I mean, that the home loan, that is the most, that's the biggest fear, right? Is I
Right.
don't know how to do this. And I'll tell you guys, there's 4 C's: collateral, credit, cash, and capacity. Okay, so collateral is the first one. That is where we're just going to make sure after they're under contract that the house is worth what they're buying it for.
Right.
So if they're buying a $250,000 home, we just have to make sure it's worth $250,000, and we're going to look at that based on homes that have sold recently in their area.
Right.
Okay, seller may feel it's worth $250.
Right.
Obviously, you guys are doing your job to say, look, it's really only based on the comps. It's really worth $240.
Right.
We're going to come behind that and confirm that it's worth $250. Okay, so they'll look at things like the roof and the foundation just to make sure there's no structural damages to that. But we always encourage people to get a home inspection. But that's the first C is collateral. Okay, now credit. Okay, credit's a big one.
Yes.
Each program will have different minimum credit score requirements, okay? Now, guys, you have 3 credit scores. You have a high score, a low score, and a middle score, okay? Now, we do not average scores as a lender.
Right.
We throw out your high, we throw out the low, and we use the middle credit score. So that's important for you to know, guys, is the middle score. Now, if you're out there looking on
Credit Karma.
freecreditreport.com, all those kind of things, it's great for you guys to use that for monitoring purposes, but it absolutely is not the score that we're going to get as a lender.
Right.
It could be 10 to 40 points lower on our end when we get our FICO-based report. So just know that there is going to be a difference, but we're taking the middle credit score. Now, for a conventional loan, conventional loans, minimum they look for that 3% down is 620.
Right.
Okay. FHA, the minimum they look for 3.5% down is 580. Okay. VA, 600, and USDA, 640. Okay. So 620, 580, 600, and 640 for those particular programs. Now, if you want the grant programs where the state of Texas will give you money to cover the down payment and closing costs, the minimum mid score that you can have is a 620. Okay, guys, we're not talking 700 scores.
No.
We're not talking 720 that they're going to tell you on national news that you have to have.
Right.
It is a 620 in most cases. Now, think about this. If you're at a 580, are you hopeless? No. We can get you to a 620. I can help get you there. And we do what's called a what-if analysis. We're going to take a look at your credit, and we're going to go into our system, and it's going to tell us what you would need to do to get it to that score, and how long would it take. Sometimes it could take 3 to 5 days to get it up 40 points. Sometimes it'll take 30, 60, 90 days or plus, right?
Right.
Depending on why your score is down at that 580. Sometimes it's as simple as paying down credit card balances. Because you have a $5,000 high limit and your balance is $5,000, that's kind of negative. That's the way they look at that, right? But if we can pay that down, maybe it's a card that you use for business and the business just hasn't paid it down yet, your company, if they paid it down to $2,500, maybe that gets us the 40 points that we need. Maybe you don't have a lot of credit, and we're going to advise you to go get a secured credit card. And that secured credit card, you'll take out a $300 secured credit card and put on $25. Go fill up your car for gas, right?
Right.
and then pay that off. In 30 to 45 days, you could see, honestly, you could see 40, 50, 60 point increase in credit scores if we're looking at it just for lack of credit. Now, if we have a habit that we have to break, meaning a no pay or a slow pay,
Right.
okay, guys, that's where the time comes into play. That's where it could take 6 months, a year, 2 years, because we first have to break the habit,
Right.
meaning stop the slow pays,
Right.
and then how long do we have to go from that last late payment to get you in a positive position?
Right.
So it could be a year before you're there. But in 22 years, guys, I've done this for a little over 22 years, I've never told anybody no. Okay, just told them not now. I'm gonna get you on a path to home ownership. I'm gonna lay it out there and we're gonna tell you what you need to be doing, but it's gonna be up to you to put one foot in front of the other and walk down that path.
Right.
Okay, so that's credit. Now we have cash. Cash is
King.
right? Cash is king. How much money do you have available to use to purchase the home? Some people have a lot of money. Some people just haven't had the time to save that up. It's up to us to have that conversation to figure out what's going to be the best loan structure for them. Okay? Some people that have a lot of money, maybe it makes sense for them to actually use the grant and down payment assistance programs as well. I just look at it and say, what's the best loan for them based on their particular situation, how long they're going to keep the house, right? Some people only want to keep the house 2 years, some people want to keep it 30 years, right? We talk about those types of things. But then we design a loan program that'll encompass their down payment, right? Their closing costs, what we call escrows, their 1-year homeowners insurance and escrows for property taxes and homeowners insurance. And then we add those up, and then we back out things like credits. You know, things like earnest money, right? When you put a contract on a house, you have to legitimize that contract with the exchange of dollars. That could be 1% of the sales price, so $2,500 on that $250,000 house. Well, you're going to get credit for that. We're going to back that out of your total cost, right? And then, you know, it's other small things. Maybe even the seller might be contributing a little bit, but we're going to back all that out, and then that's what we're going to leave with as cash to close. And if you don't have that money available, that's where we'll go get the grant to cover all that, the remaining of a portion of that money. So we can custom design the cash piece. And then the last piece is going to be called capacity, okay? Capacity is where we're trying to understand, can you repay the loan? Do you have the ability to repay the loan? This is responsible lending, right? We want to make sure that at the end of the day, the customer has the money and that we can document it to repay the mortgage and not get themselves in a particular situation that's not comfortable, right?
Right.
That kind of happened back in the housing crisis, and
That's
before,
right, when we bought a house.
right,
Right.
and why we kind of went into that housing crisis area. So we really, as lenders, we've really gotten accustomed to being really, really responsible on how we lend money. And we do that in the form of a debt-to-income ratio. So it's a really simple calculation, guys, but you take your proposed house payment plus the monthly obligations that show up on the credit report. Now, not the $5,000 balance, but the $150 monthly minimum payment that it requires, right? You add up those, and then you divide by your gross monthly income, and then that'll give us a ratio. And so the maximum ratio percentage for conventional is 49.99, and the maximum ratio for, let's say, FHA is 56.99. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck on the FHA side. So those are really, guys, are the only 4 things that an underwriter will look for, that I'm going to look for in evaluating whether or not we can issue you guys a pre-qualification to be able to purchase a house.
Yeah.
So I like to tell people that I meet, if they're not a homeowner, if you're renting and you have documented income,
Sure.
you can buy a house. It may not be a $200,000 house. Maybe it's a $160,000 house. But if you're paying rent and you have an income,
Right.
you can buy a house.
Right.
Is that true or not?
That's 100% true.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys, and I want to make this very clear. I want you to know your why to wanting to own a home.
Yeah, there you go.
Your why has to be so big that it trumps what Lovie just said. You may want the 250, but you're going to buy the 150. When I bought my first house was only $60,000. I couldn't afford my first house. This was in December of 1996. I had just gotten the business in September. I didn't have any documented income. I had absolutely zero cash, but my why was so big to own a home that I brushed aside everything and all the pride and all these things that a man's supposed to have. I'm supposed to be able to afford all these things. And I went to my wife and said, we can't do it. What are we going to do? We got together, said, let's go ask her grandparents. They were giving us a little bit of money to go get married. So we traded the big wedding and said, don't need the big wedding. Let's go elope and just do it for ourselves, because that's really what the wedding's about. It's for us. And let's take the money and let's use some of our cash, $5,000, to go buy our first $60,000 home. Then I realized I still couldn't qualify because I didn't make any money, right? Documented money.
Right.
So I had to then ask them to co-sign for me, right? We did an FHA non-occupying co-borrower loan. That's our first loan for me as a $60,000 person. And I'm happy to say we lived in that house 2 years, sold it. We've lived in 12 homes since.
Wow.
So our why was so big that it got us in the game. And then it's not, I don't live in a $60,000 house anymore.
Right.
But that's what it got us in the game 22 years ago. And then we traded the equity. If we were renting, we had no equity.
No way.
Nothing.
Right.
I traded the house with the equity, and I took that equity, went and bought another house.
Right.
Did the same thing, went and bought another house. Did the same thing, went and bought another house. And then we just loved the
And equity
remodeling
for the
and
people
moving.
that don't know,
Exactly. Yeah,
price of
equity.
home, what you paid off, all that stuff in the middle, that's you, equity.
Yeah, she tells it so much better. But that's what we did. So, yes, if you're out there and you're renting and you say, hey, look, you know what? I work hourly, I'm salary, or I've been self-employed for 2 years. You know, let's talk, because we can take a look at that income, and then we can say, okay, based on the income, based on where you are credit-wise, here's the price of home that you could qualify for. Right? A lot of times people find out, wow, I could qualify for more than I thought I could.
Yes.
Right? But what's important, guys, is being open to having the conversation.
Right.
When you talk to us, it's just a conversation. We need to get to know you, where you are, where you want to be. We talk about income assets. We do look at credit. But it gives us an opportunity to provide you guidance so you can make a decision. Right? It's all about you making the decision, is this best for you? I can tell you financially, is it best for you? But then it's up to you to be able to say, you know what, this is what I want.
Exactly.
For my wife and I, we knew this is what we wanted. Financially, I knew it was better, but we had to go through that big why moment to say, we're going to pull in her grandparents to make that decision. And we did it. And I can tell you it's the best thing, one of the best decisions we ever made outside of getting married, right?
Right.
Because it just really pushed us in a completely different place from a equity standpoint. So, yes, that's what you would do.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you like it?
I love it. I love it.
Well, I mean, and that's the big thing about educating, right? I know you
Right.
guys talk about that, and you do that a lot. You use social media,
Right.
to educate people.
True.
Now, I will say I haven't been as good with educating via social media. And we all have our thorns in our side. Now, social media isn't a thorn in my side, but what it is definitely time consuming. And
Oh my gosh,
so if I'm at an event, it's easy. You have a captive audience, whether you're doing a home buyers workshop or educating. What we're working on now is talking, because we both worked in HR, talking to HR directors, offering them the benefit of education, not coming in as a realtor or lender,
No.
but really talking to them about, hey, here's some benefits that you can offer to your employees for free. And it's educating about your cash flow and how to use their 401ks
There you go.
to change their lives, whether they want to invest in properties or do something else. Not that I want to steal people from their jobs, but when you give people options or you teach them something that they didn't know and provide
Sure.
them other information, their mind opens up.
Right.
Yeah.
And the possibilities
Right.
are endless.
It's great that you guys do that, because that's a big part of our business model. Having owned companies, I understand what HR goes through,
Yes.
right? HR has a commitment to their employee base, and they want to make processes, they want to make the environment, the culture so much better for the people, because they have to focus on recruitment and retention.
Right.
And the retention aspect is huge, because that's one of the places that there's so much
Costs-
leakage and
costs
cost,
so much
right?
money,
And the more that you can help them along their life journey,
Yes.
then the more value they're going to see in you, and they're going to want to stay within the organization, right? But you also have somebody else that you serve. It's called the CFO.
Right.
And the CFO is sitting there saying, we want all these things, and yes, we do value it, but we cannot spend the money on that because healthcare costs are continuously rising, right? So what you guys, it seems like you guys are doing, and what we do, is I go into these HR managers and we talk about those things and we address it just like that. I understand the two people you serve, right? And you're kind of in that middle point, and we have to be able to provide them the things that they're looking for to provide value to their employee base, but also satisfy the need for that CFO to say there's
Yes.
absolutely no cost,
Right.
right? And you're correct, 100% correct on the fact that you cannot go in there as a real estate agent. I do not go in there as a mortgage person. I go in there as an educator, as a benefit provider, much like their health, dental, vision, 401k benefits. To go in there as a benefit provider and educate them. Go to their fair, educate their employees. That's what you're truly there for. Now, at the end of the day, what the employee base will understand is what you do for a living, and they're going to go, wow, investment properties, that's a really good passive income strategy. I like that. Hey, can you help me find some? Bob, can you help me finance them? Right? Because we talk about those
Yes.
things and we can do it.
Yes.
But that's not what we're there for. Because and that's what happens with other people that do those things. They do go in there to try to sell their products and services, and that's where it gets turned off really quickly. HR's not looking for sales.
No.
Right.
They're looking for education.
No.
That's awesome that you guys do that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Successful?
So
Yeah.
far,
So
so
far.
good.
Good.
I mean, we've definitely been blessed. So,
Good.
momentum really took off. We've already had a lot of relationships, working in DFW for the last
Let's
2
say,
years.
I mean, if you're
Yeah.
HR, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the inspiration coming from? Where's this all coming from to keep you guys going?
Kept bumping my head on that ceiling. Without being in sales, I was never able to make over 100,000 years. I capped at 98, even with an MBA. Didn't matter. Unless I wanted to be on the road all the time,
Yep.
traveling.
Yeah,
that
right.
My companies did. I worked for CBRE as a consultant, so they sent me out of the country to do training and consulting, but you don't want to be gone all the time. I don't want to be on the road, 3 weeks out of the month when you have a husband and you have an 11-year-old at
Right.
home that needs you at soccer and stuff like that. So
Right.
it was that. It was financial freedom, building a legacy for the family, and I knew that I could not do it at a job.
Right.
Right. Sure. No, it makes
And-
sense.
And that was my problem, just living out of a suitcase. That wasn't my life. My life was not being on the road. My life was being at home and being with my wife, being with my family, and building our business. So that gets tired real quick. So
Yeah.
that's why corporate for us was just like, it's time to move forward.
Yeah.
It was a great building block as far as learning things. I would
Yes.
definitely say that because we both learned a lot in
Sure.
HR and corporate. We both learned a lot. That's kind of transitioning over to our business today. But at the end of the day, like she said, freedom, feeling liberated, just being able to do your own and make your own income and not have to worry about a check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your
Understand.
efforts and
Right.
energies that you pour in is exactly what's going to pour out.
Exactly.
So you can work harder
And there you go.
more, or you can not.
So you decided to do this, but there had to be certain, like, I guess what you're finding or what you sought after, like characteristics that you knew you had to have that could make it work in that type of environment.
Right.
What would you feel like that would be? I mean, what are 3 big characteristics that you feel like you have to
to
to?
be disciplined. Number
Uh-huh.
one, I would even go back to because I'm disciplined, committed, but your mindset has to be right. So I would even start with mindset first because even when I got into the business, my mindset wasn't where it needed to be. And I bumped my head against several walls, and I figured out that it was my mindset. I know that everything I step out and do, I can accomplish. But I wasn't successful when I first stepped out. I wasn't successful in my own right of what I felt I should have been
Exactly.
accomplishing.
Sure.
And it was a bit of an ego blow because it's like, but I'm good at everything I do. But I'm not. You have to learn. And it was a big learning curve for me. But that mindset, being disciplined and being committed in spite of what you see the circumstances are, because all that groundwork that you're laying, it's coming.
It's
So
coming,
building
right.
that pipeline and, going through the things where, I had a $53,000 a month and it all falling down to like, $4,000. That
Yeah. Right.
it hurts.
Right.
But you keep at it because guess what? Those same people are the ones that are closing in June.
Mm-hmm.
So you go through these ups and downs, but being committed, keeping your mind in the right place, staying around positive people, and learning because the learning never stops.
Learning
And
never stops.
Absolutely
Learning never stops.
dedicated to the cause.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely dedicated.
Yeah, the dedication, the discipline. I mean, it's huge. Mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you got to know what you're walking into. You got to be prepared
Exactly.
for that type
Exactly.
of stuff. I mean, we
Exactly.
focus on things like as well, like energy kind of goes into mindset. Energy, you have to bring it every day. This
Yeah,
is not
you
a
do.
difficult, this is not it's a difficult business in the fact that, you know, you do have to wake up every day with your back against the wall
Yeah.
to go earn it
takes a lot.
every single
It
day.
can take a lot out of
It does. So you have to have a lot of energy to keep yourself going, a lot
Yeah.
of enthusiasm.
Yes.
Enthusiasm is contagious. If you're not excited about what you do, the other person's not going to feel it,
Right.
They're not going to feel the level that you want them to get them to make decisions. I talk a lot about with agents that are brand new in the business. I can tell you exactly how to beat the 22-year veteran. Bring more enthusiasm than them.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the consumer is not so much concerned about all the accolades that 22-year veteran has, or how many, you know, awards they've gotten, or how many houses they've sold. They're into it for one thing and one thing only: them. What's in it for me? And that enthusiasm can, like, wow, it's contagious, and I want to work with you. I
Right.
feel great about you, you know, and
Right.
it's just those kind of things. And then, you know, the empathy piece is important, because you got to get on the other side of the table with them. If you create a boundary,
Yeah, it's true.
then you've created a wall, and you got to understand, you know, for me on my end with the lending side, I got to understand the why, what it is they want to do, how are we going to be able to help them accomplish it? Because if we create the barrier, which we already know walking into this relationship, we're the barrier to entry,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And so the quicker we can break that wall down, which is the empathy side, to get over there and really understand them,
Right.
the better chance we have of helping them.
Right.
And that's where we all succeed. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
I agree.
So you guys got big plans, though. You're also doing stuff. You're talking about different things to help other communities. I mean, talk to me a little bit about what you guys are thinking there and what you guys are doing.
Well, we've partnered with one other investor that is
Uh-huh.
also interested in affordable housing. Anybody that knows about DFW or just housing in general, that
general, yeah.
affordable
Mhm.
housing is the thing that is needed everywhere, but especially in larger metroplexes like DFW. They have several programs, nonprofit programs that provide housing assistance for people. They provide the funds and the money, but they don't have properties. So we want to develop affordable properties. And I'm talking about stuff under 150, which people, everybody's in it for the money. But volume works too. I'm in it to ensure that we have a better community.
Right.
And then we'll also make money helping the need. Plug a need, and you're always going to be helping someone. And you're going
Money
to
comes.
continue.
If you
The
focus
money
on
is
if
gonna
you focus
come.
on the impact of life,
Right.
money won't.
There you go.
So many people have impacted our lives. I'm
Right.
saying we have a 5-bedroom house and every room is full because people always come and stay. But it's a blessing. God gave us that house for a reason.
Right.
But it took us to, get to Texas to buy a house because we couldn't have bought in California. We wouldn't have qualified.
Right, yeah,
We
5-bedroom house
barely
in California.
qualified for a lease.
Right.
Because they want you to have 4 months rent, basically,
Basically.
2 months down payment, 2 months rent. So
Yep.
you have to have a lot of money to rent anywhere else. So coming here, knowing that people have a need and that we can help, because I learned enough to be just a little dangerous.
Yes,
So-
yes.
So we're buying up some areas. We were looking around. We're looking for about 15 acres.
15.
Okay.
So we have an investor that we're working with that also wants to help develop affordable housing. So we're looking around and we're going to partner with some of those nonprofit programs to be able to provide them with what they need. So
Awesome. Okay. Guys got a lot on your plate.
it's a
You
lot
decide.
coming. I'm excited.
It's a lot.
about it.
Very excited about what 2019 holds.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing y'all's growth.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I really do.
We'll break out of that $100,000 cap that we had
Uh-huh.
on us individually.
Yeah, really kind of
So
Right.
attack
Well, I mean,
that.
and-
that's exciting to be able to help more people
Yeah.
because
Your focus is on the impact of
Yeah.
other people, so the money we all know will
Right.
fall.
As long as we can make an impact on the community in a positive way where it makes everyone feel, like I've achieved something in life as far as a home, we've done our job.
There you go. I like
We've
that.
done our job.
So, who here can actually throw out the digits and the website on where to find you guys?
Throw them digits out.
Right here.
you can find me online at loviehomesales.com or call me 972-904-2017. I answer most of the time. If
Right.
not, send me a text. That's the best way to get me.
Or if you can't reach her, you can reach me at 469-487-9520. One way or the other, you reach one of us, you reach both of us.
Yes.
Love it, guys. Hey, I really do Really do appreciate you giving me some time today, just so I could
yeah,
learn a little
appreciate
bit
it.
about you guys. I know we've talked and met and done stuff together, but it's really nice to get to know you guys at this level. Hopefully, what we have here is somebody over time will be able to say, you know what, Bob, thanks so much for introducing me to Lovie and Alonzo. They've actually changed my life. That's what this is for. It's really to provide a platform to where maybe one day that happens. And then I know that this jam session is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a platform to do that.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
truly.
absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
appreciate
Thank you guys so much for giving me your eyes and ears today. You guys go out and have an amazing day, but most importantly, make
Stay
somebody's
dry.
day
Yeah,
even
that's it.
better. Take care.
Awesome.